Welcome everybody to part 7 of the Formula 1 2011 career mode. Today we are at Montreal in Canada, and this is a fairly good track for me. I really like this track actually. It is quite chicane map. I find that quite like Formula E circuits, but that might just suit cars. I haven't watched a lot of Formula E, so I can't really judge that. Leading the championship at the minute is Mark Webber, and Lewis Hamilton isn't too far behind, but Mark Webber does seem to be taking the championship away by storm, really. Lewis Hamilton is following him, followed by Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, Felipe Massa, and Sebastian Vettel, not doing very well in this championship, I must admit. We are in 19th place, and our teammate is in 22nd, so we are clearly beating our teammate, which I think is very, very good. Our Team Lotus, is in 10th. We haven't scored any points, which is quite disappointing. So here we are in practice now, and I don't expect too much to happen in practice because I don't really need to practice the circuit. I've raced it so many times, I know the track layout on the back of my hand pretty much. So I really don't need to practice, I just really need to get used to the game, as I only play it once every week to record these videos. I don't play it for my own benefit at all, so I really just need to get used to the handling model. I'm not too much a fan of this, but I also bought F1 2012, it was in a Steam sale together, and I played 2012 straight after this game, and it's honestly way better, the handling model wise. But either way, I can't change it now, can I? So in practice, I was still getting used to the handling model, as I've just been talking about, and I chipped the right side of my front wing. Sebastian Vettel topped qualifying, followed by Jenson Button, Felipe Massa, Hamilton and Webber. So Webber not doing too well in practice. There was no rain in practice and in the whole of the weekend actually. I'm sort of even missing the rain almost. And we finished practice 21st.
Of course, putting in a good performance in qualifying reduces the chances of you getting caught up in a midfield first corner incident. So have you been happy with your grid places so far this season? The ban on testing must put a lot of pressure on the team to produce a quick car. Now, even with the use of modern technology, things can't be easy for them. So how have the team coped so far this year? We're well into the new season now, so you've had plenty of time to settle into your new team. How's life at Lotus treating you?
It's now time for qualifying here in Montreal. I'm hoping for a fairly good qualifying position, as it's not the easiest track to overtake, but it's not like Monaco where you're just going to crash into the barrier if you try to go too wide, let alone 3 wide, which you can do at some points on the track. It's got a very long back straight here, so I think we might struggle because Lotus does seem to be very down on power, which was very, very obvious at Spain in Catalonia, where it has the huge start-finish straight. So here we are on our first qualifying lap, and we can see Sebastian Buemi, who I'm hoping to maybe try and fight with in the race, and he's getting held up by Mark Webber. I'm not too sure what happened there, but this is my actual qualifying lap. I did quite a few qualifying laps because I just really wanted to get the lap perfect. I wanted to get a really strong position for the race, and so I'll leave you guys to watch the qualifying lap. So the qualifying results are Mark Webber is on pole, Jens Button and Felipe Massa will join him in the podium position if they do manage to finish there. We had a fairly strong qualifying. We finished 18th behind Adrian Sittel and beating the one and only Pastor Maldonado. Our teammate did fairly well for his ability. He finished 21st. This is the race now on the Sunday. As previously mentioned, we are in 18th. Mark Webber is on pole and our teammate is going to start the race in 21st position. So here we are waiting for the 5 red lights to go out. Well, they haven't even come on yet, but now we're waiting for all of them to go out. And we're revving up the engine and we are waiting. And we get a fairly good start here compared to the 2 Force Indias who seem to surround us. And Paul Di Resta is trying to help his teammate probably. And he tries to block us in. However, it doesn't really work as his teammate actually loses a bit of his front wing on the rear left of Paul Di Resta, and we get a fairly good start into turns 1 and 2. We are now behind Jaime Alguersuari in the Toro Rosso, not without Pastor Maldonado, and we may have cut him off a bit there. Hopefully he didn't get any damage. I do feel a bit bad for that now, but it's probably something he would have done to me, so, I was just taking that kind of action. And so, now the field is kind of spread out a bit. I feel like this race is going to be a bit slow and there's not going to be too much action, but Adrian Sittel actually does manage to get around us through the chicane. It's probably one of the slower chicanes on the track, but still. Actually, no, it's probably one of the faster. I don't know. And he even manages to go down the inside of Jaime Alguersuari there. That was very good overtaking from the German. We do manage to go down the inside of Jaime Alguersuari too, but on the straight he just has that little bit more power, and he does manage to get back past us. And going through the chicane now, this was very tricky not to crash into the wall of champions, named of course because it has claimed the races, I guess you could say, of many Formula 1 world champions. And yeah, I just really tried not to crash, basically. I didn't want to have another race like Monaco, that's for sure. If you haven't watched that video, go watch it now. It was a complete utter disaster. It's basically a crash compilation, and no, you love those. So, here we are on lap 6 now. Literally nothing else happened between lap 1 and lap 6. When we're coming into the pits now, we were on the super soft option tyres. As you know, we only had 2 sets of tyres back in these days. And we're going on to the soft prime tyres now. We didn't have ultra soft tyres either. Ooh. And so we're going into rich mix now. I've noticed that through these races I have way too much fuel. And I just can't find the setting to get less fuel. Because I seem to have way too much fuel. I can be on rich mix for over half of the race if I wanted to. And I don't know, I want less fuel in my car, so my car's a bit lighter and I go a bit faster. And now we're on lap 8, and we're coming into the the slowest corner on the track, and we're going round the outside, Sebastian Buemi. And I just really didn't expect that. I was miles away, but I think he went really slow through the hairpin, and I must have just broke way later than him. And we do get DRS, however, he just gets a way better exit and has a way better engine. And now coming into turn 1 on lap 9, we almost crash into him actually. And we try to go round the outside of him. He does block us, but that lets Adrian Sittel go past us down the inside. And now he's claimed 17th place, and we're out of our target position now, and I'd really like to meet that position. So now, here we are on the same lap going into the hairpin. And we do try to go down the inside of Adrian Sittel, and we actually just barge him out the way there, really force our way back past, and we're now right on the gearbox of Sebastian Buemi, who now races in Formula E, but we just don't get the slipstream we want. And also, I feel like I should have used longer gears, as when I was in Rich Mix and had DRS, I was just topping out on the back stretch, which wasn't very good. And I just feel I needed a little bit more speed to maybe make some overtakes into a chicane, so I really feel I could have done that. However, we still can't make our way past Sebastian Buemi, and I noticed some smoke from up ahead, and we almost can't see anything. It's like a smoke screen effect. And Paul Di Resta, his engine has just gone boom, and we can't see anything through chicane. It was really just holding my breath and hoping to survive, really. But here we are now going into the hairpin. We've got Adrian Sittle right behind us, and I'm thinking he will overtake us. He has to overtake us, and we're basically holding him up like a back marker, and he's trying to lap us. However, we're on the back straight now, and with the aid of DRS, he gets a lovely exit and just manages to get past us. However, we do barge our way through the chicane, maybe cutting it a bit, maybe being a bit too aggressive, as he will inevitably overtake us. Here he is now going down the inside. We tried to stick it around the outside, we just don't make it work. And I felt like I was quite fast through this corner, however, I still couldn't get past him. And really, that's all that happened through these last closing stages of the race, except for me breaking my front wing on the right. And as you'll see in a few seconds, I'll break my front wing on the left too. Through this corner, I think, actually. Yep, here we are going through the first chicane. And we're coming through the corners now. This is the last lap of the Grand Prix, and I think I still have some extra fuel on board. So this is me complaining even more. Because I'm on the pad, I just can't control my car properly, and I go straight into the wall there. And I've basically just got a plank of carbon fibre on front of my car now. But at least it's the last lap of the race, and I basically have no cars around me, so nobody could try and overtake me. And thankfully, we get a fairly good race this race, and we managed to finish P16. Mark Webber from pole position has won the race, which will extend his championship lead even more. He's really just running away with it now. In real life, he's never won a world championship before, so maybe in this game he will. We finished 16th, and the people around me just were way faster than me. Felipe Massa and Jenson Button will join him on the podium, just like, I think it's a complete mirror, at least for the first three, of the starting grid. We didn't finish P16, our teammate wasn't so lucky, and he hasn't been on form all season really, but he has moved up a position into P20, which isn't too bad, and of course Paul Di Resta did crash out of the race. Well, he didn't crash, his engine blew up. Mark Webber has extended his championship lead. Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton will follow him in the championship now, and it really seems like the McLarens have got to do a lot of work to catch up to Mark Webber and try and get that World Drivers' Championship out of his hands, really. We're still in 19th with no points in the championship. Hopefully we can maybe change that in a few races' time. And Red Bull, unsurprisingly, lead the championship, even though his teammate Sebastian Vettel isn't doing too well. Our team is in P10, and McLaren is chasing Red Bull down in second place. So I hope you enjoyed that career mode video, guys. I hope to see you next time in the European Grand Prix at Valencia. Now, just as a warning, I've never raced that track before, so you'll probably see me make a lot of mistakes, so look forward to seeing that. Just as a quick refresher, Felipe Massa is in P4 in the championship, and Sebastian Vettel is doing very poorly in P5.